Zion's Co-operative Mercantile Institution, or ZCMI for short, was an American department store chain that opened in 1868 and changed its name in 2002. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified of my latest videos. Please hit that like button and leave a suggestion or a comment. You might see that in a future video. Thanks for watching, and now back to a regular scheduled program.
Did you know ZCMI carried everything from dolls to dinnerware? Well, Wednesday's the one-day sale, and they also carried 25% savings and more. It's true! This Wednesday's ZCMI one-day sale features 25% savings on the entire stock of dolls and doll accessories. You'll also find 30% savings on all regular-priced towels, sheets, bedding, and more. Or 25% savings on most regular-priced fine and casual dinnerware, stemware, and flatware. The one-day sale. Coming Wednesday. To you from ZCMI.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the LDS Church, had been headquartered in the Salt Lake City area for some 20 years. They were despised by the surrounding community, as founder Brigham Young had disparaged non-Mormon merchants who had engaged in price gouging on necessities and encouraged boycotting these businesses in 1866. Mormon business owners were routinely charged higher prices by wholesalers who discovered that they were dealing with Mormons. It was Young's idea to encourage Mormon businesses to band together under one roof. By pooling the resources, they were able to make larger orders to sell materials and goods exclusively, at the time, to fellow LDS church members. Later in the month, LDS businessmen from around the territory met in Salt Lake City to organize a wholesale cooperative store. Brigham Young was elected president of the People's Store, or ZCMI. Its initial directors were also church leaders. The store's goal was to offer lower prices than the enemy Gentile businesses while promoting church unity. In 1869, ZCMF's main store, the Eagle Emporium on 200 South Main Street, opened its doors for business, with clothing, dry goods, hats, caps, boots, and shoes for sale. Soon a second wholesale store opened, with groceries, farm tools, stoves, and hardware available. ZCMI became a formidable business force, eventually manufacturing its own line of boots and shoes and a line of work clothes. It also sold everything from housing needs, lumber, nails, and the like, to household needs such as fabric, needles, thread, food preservation products, furniture, and draperies, even some beauty products, nearly everything that the pioneers needed to survive and thrive. From that time until 1924, ZCMI had 8 departments, each with a retail and wholesale division: dry goods, groceries, hardware, chinaware, shoes, rugs, meats, and men's clothing. ZCMI was formally incorporated in 1870 after the territorial legislature passed its first incorporation laws. By that time, some 150 cooperatives had been established not only in the Utah Territory, but also in the Wyoming, Idaho, Nevada, and even South Dakota. Such co-ops depended on ZCMI's wholesale for many products and were also supplied with locally made items. ZCMI expanded in the 1870s and early 1880s. New stores were opened in Logan, Utah in 1873 and Ogden, Utah in 1881. As Utah's population doubled between 1890 and 1920, ZCMI began appealing to all residents, not just churchgoers. For example, after the 1920, the sign proclaiming "Holiness to the Lord" was relegated to church buildings only, and then discontinued at ZCMI. All store employees began receiving their wages in cash, rather than in store goods as they had in the pioneer era. The system of cooperatives that existed earlier ended in the early 1900s, and the Provo, Logan, and Ogden stores were sold by 1906, leaving ZCMI to operate on a centralized basis from its main Salt Lake City store, with local warehouses in several locations in Idaho and Utah. The company began in the early 20th century to hire more managers who had college training and considerable professional work experience in marketing and business management. Church standards were expected of all ZCMI workers and managers, but an increasing number no longer had close personal or family ties to church leaders. In 1946, Harold H. Bennett was chosen as the new ZCMI general manager. He modernized ZCMI with the help of managers recruited from Macy's and Marshall Field and Company. That same year, ZCMI added an escalator, the first in a store in the western United States, and in 1954 the company constructed Salt Lake City's first store-side parking terrace. In 1962, ZCMI opened a large new store in the Cottonwood Mall, located in Salt Lake City's suburban neighborhood of Holiday. ZCMI was also famous for its elaborate light displays, first introduced only 2 years after the invention of the electric light bulb. Over the years, stores were founded throughout the West, including several in Salt Lake, throughout Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, and surprisingly, even in Deadwood, South Dakota. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, ZCMI became a higher-end department store and catered to a wealthier clientele. Beginning in the early to mid-1990s, the national retail industry was going through a period of transition with the proliferation of big-box stores, the invention of internet shopping, and the preference for specialty store and catalog shopping. The introduction of Dillard's into the Utah market also impacted their business. ZCMI had a bit of a monopoly for many years on the middle-class market, filling the merchandise gap between JCPenney and Nordstrom's. When Dillard's built 2 huge stores at Southtown Mall and Provo Town Center in the mid-1990s, they lured many of the ZCMI customers away with great sales and brands not available at ZCMI. President Gordon Hinckley hinted that ZCMI was nearing its end when he indicated that the church was pulling out of the businesses not central to its mission. It was announced that ZCMI would be taken over by St. Louis-based May Company. The May Company retained the ZCMI name for 2 years before rebranding them as Meyer & Frank stores. In addition to the name change, the Utah stores in Logan and St. George, along with the Idaho stores in Idaho Falls and Pocatello, were sold to Dillard's in March of 2001. May Company was sold to Federated Department Stores, now Macy's Inc., in 2005. In September of 2006, all Meyer & Frank stores were converted to Macy's. And finally, in 2007, the beloved Salt Lake City ZCMI Mall was demolished to make way for the new City Creek Center shopping destination. So what are your memories of ZCMI? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you just watched my video, thanks for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe to Eric C. Productions.